guys, my name is Ariana and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today's video is sponsored by Curlsqueen. They sent me over 200 grams of their K-tips in the texture Water Jerry Curly in 18 inches. They were gracious enough to allow me to install these K-tips on one of my clients instead of installing it on myself. So as you guys see, I am bleaching the bundles only to match the color of my client's natural hair. So the bleaching process that you guys see me doing, I just prefer to do a bleach bath. I was a little nervous about bleaching the K-tips because this was my first time working with K-tip extensions, period. And I wasn't sure if I had to keep the K-tips separate from the bleach, but it's okay. These are not the same as tape-ins. So if you do get bleach on the keratin part of the K-tips, it'll be totally fine. You can still seamlessly install these and it's not going to cause you a problem. Versus with tape-ins, if you get the tape part of the tape-in wet during the washing process, they're not going to stick to the hair during the install. So that's just something I thought that was really, really important if you are familiar with different types of extensions, because I know there's always conversations like K-tips, microlinks, sew-ins, quick weaves, which type of hair extension service is the best and healthiest. Basically, I'm trying to communicate that the washing process of K-tips is very easy before install because you don't have to be overly cautious of getting product or anything on the keratin tips themselves. It's not going to cause a problem during install. After rinsing out my client's hair dye, I wanted to give her natural hair a treatment before installing the K-tips because if you guys are unfamiliar, K-tips can last anywhere from 4 to 8 months plus from what I've been reading. Again, this is my very first time working with K-tips. So hopefully my client leaves these in for a decent amount of time so we can actually see the grow out process. I don't know. I'm not going to make any promises. I don't know if you guys are going to see the grow out process or not with this specific client, but I don't know. We're going to see, but I wanted to make sure that I really gave her hair a really good treatment beforehand. We've been focusing on growing her hair out, cutting off her split ends, and just getting her hair overall healthy. Before any extension service, I genuinely do like to work on a clean canvas. And as a professional, you should be working on a clean canvas anyway. But I will say it makes the install process a lot easier. As you guys can see, I'm sectioning out her quote unquote leave out like I'm doing a sew-in or quick weave service. She prefers a side part. My client, the one in my chair right now, she has gotten K-tips done before. So she was kind of telling me you don't have to leave out as much leave out as you think you do, but hindsight being 2020, maybe we'll know for her next K-tip install. But as you guys can see, I did choose to cut the K-tips in half. That was because my client told me that's what her old stylist would do. I'm like, child, I don't know. I'm back here just winging it. So the method that I chose to do the install, I don't know if this is healthy or not. Hopefully it is. If not, whether it's healthy or not, just leave a comment down below if you have experience installing K-tips. The method of install that I chose is I chose to roll her hair almost like I'm about to do a rope twist, as you guys saw. And then I was putting the K-tip underneath her hair using the keratin tool to melt the keratin. And then I was almost rolling the K-tip, the keratin around her hair like a shoelace tip almost. I don't know. I was playing around with it, y'all. This is literally my first time. And I didn't even watch any videos on anybody else for the most part as far as the install method. But this was just the easiest method that I found because what I didn't want to happen is let's say I left her natural hair flat and I didn't get all of her strands to be fully encased with the keratin. I felt like that would have caused damage. The other issue I guess that I was having with practicing was trying to make sure that I put the right amount of keratin extension to match her density of hair, because you don't want the extension to be too heavy for the amount of strands that you have in each K-tip, because that can put too much stress on the hair and cause breakage. So it was a whole lot of trial and error behind the scenes. This install took a very long time. I think we started around noon and we didn't finish installing the K-tips until probably midnight. But keep in mind, we did color and all of the things in between. We were filming, we were chatting. So now the shampoo scene that you guys see on the screen is the following week. So her extensions have been in for a full week. So we're about to shampoo her hair again just to give it a refresher before we move into styling. I don't know if you guys noticed, but her hair is actually darker. So when she came back to the salon, I was like, girl, what happened? And she was like, I don't know. It was a little too red for my liking, and I wanted it to be more chocolate. So I wanted to include that in the video to let you guys know. I guess you can dye the K-tips while they are already installed in your hair. Again, she did it without letting me know. She's only using semi-permanent though, so it's just a deposit only color. And it didn't cause her hair any damage. As you guys see, her hair is detangling, no problem. She doesn't have any excessive shedding of her natural hair. Also, this part is important for my girlies who do have K-tips. If it's curly, try to use a steamer and a really good slip conditioner so you can detangle it, because the only thing I was concerned about is, when you're dealing with curly hair, you have to put more tension on it to get through all the tangles. And I was worried that some of the K-tips were going to slide out. And after the 12-hour install process, I was like, oh, we're definitely not about to have to do a touch-up today. I'm tired. So luckily, the quality of the K-tips from Curlsqueen, in my opinion, are great. I think for the whole styling process, I maybe only had 2 or 3 K-tips slip out. And that was only when I applied, in my opinion, I think too much tension with trying to get the tangles out. So definitely use the unbrushed or like a detangling comb, like the detangling brush that has like multiple comb things on it. I don't know, really affordable. It's good for people who are tender-headed. So yeah, that's my review on the washing process and detangling once it's in the hair already. As long as you're doing your sectioning like you're supposed to and being gentle and detangling from the ends to the roots, you shouldn't have a problem with any of your K-tips slipping out. Now, as you guys can see, I'm going in with a spray leave-in conditioner. The type of spray leave-in that I'm using doesn't really matter. I'm just showing you guys the products that I used for her specific styling for today. This was also my first time trying both of these products. I went in section by section. As you guys can see, my client's curl pattern is, I would say, pretty drastically different than the Jerry Curly texture K-tips that we have installed. But blending the two together wasn't really that difficult of a process. I liked it, surprisingly. I was a little nervous. I didn't know if I was going to be able to blend it. So as I was detangling, I was like, how are we going to get this to blend? So as you guys see, I am literally like firmly grasping, in the words of Squidward and SpongeBob, I am firmly grasping the roots of her hair during detangling and distributing the products through. That way I don't have any K-tips slip out unnecessarily. And I decided to do, it's almost like a half twist out, half defined curly afro situation. You guys will see. So basically I decided to 2-strand twist down to where her natural hair ends. And then I took the Denman brush and did like this little curly flip trick that you guys see me kind of doing, just to get all the curls to lay in a uniform manner. So I basically did that all over her head. To smooth her edges, I'm using Got To Be the yellow gel, and then I did top it off camera with a pretty strong hold lace spray, because to me regular hairspray doesn't slick curly hair down. You got to use lace spray, just a little trick, and then you have to blow dry it in place. That's all you guys see me doing. So I did that all over her head. I think she probably ended up with close to about maybe 20 twists all over her head. And then we tied it, let it dry for, I don't know, we let it dry while we went to go get some food. We were hungry. Yeah, it wasn't that difficult of a process, I will say, to do the twist out. I was just mostly concerned, am I going to be able to blend her leave out with that of the texture of the K-tips? And I will say 15 out of 10. I was nervous at first, but we made it work. we're back. It's about an hour or two after originally installing the twists, and I decided to diffuse them only because I had a client coming right after her, so we kind of had to not rush through this, but I wanted to do a twist out that isn't going to take overnight to dry, because realistically most people don't have time for that. So I'm just showing you guys the real and raw results. Once I took some of the twists down, I did have to go in and make sure that her leave out was dry, because again, the shrinkage that she has for her natural hair versus the texture of the K-tips, in my opinion, was a drastic difference. And also, if you guys are having trouble with your leave out shrinking up more than what you want, what I have in this spray bottle is good old Pump It Up. It spritz and it will make your natural hair stick to the extensions, in case you guys are just having a little bit of trouble. That's a little hack that I have for you guys. So yeah, here are the finished results. I know me and my client really loved her results. I know she's happy because she is usually a K-tip girly, and she's just happy that she finally has K-tips in her hair again. Let me know what you guys think of the results down below in the comment section. Also, will you be trying K-tips? If so, will you be shopping with Curlsqueen? Leave a comment down below. Make sure you guys like this video if you have not already. Also, subscribe to my channel if you are new here. And let's get into it. I love experimenting with all things hair and beauty. So yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!